So to form the imperatives, we first take the imperfect second-person forms, which are 4 in number: masculine, feminine, singular, plural. Right? Are you ready? Here's how you form the imperatives. I'm going to show you this real fast, so pay attention. Ready? You take the imperfect forms and you lop off the prefix. That's it. Now you know the imperative. We can go on to the next chapter. All right? It's that simple. You take the imperfect forms and you lop off the prefix. All right? That's it. All right? So if we were talking about the imperative forms, we're really talking about 4 verb forms, all built off the second person, singular and plural. And what do they look like? Well, what's the second person imperfect masculine singular? It's tick, toll, right? Let me do that in red. Tick, toll, right? But now we're going to form the imperative, which simply means we're going to take off the prefix. All right, I'm just going to remove it. And what do we have? Katol. All right, do you see that this schwa now becomes a vocal schwa at the beginning of the word, and there is your basic form of the imperative, katol. Got it? This isn't that hard. All right, you help me form this form, which is the second singular feminine imperative. Well, to form the imperative, what's the first question you ask? What's the imperfect? All right, which would have a tau prefix and be tick, ta, li, with that odd e ending, right? But now we're going to form the imperative, which means what? We're going to take off the prefix and leave what we got. Oops, we've created a problem. We now have 2 schwas together. This was silent. This was vocal. Now they're together. You can't start with a silent schwa, so they must both be vocal schwas. You can't have 2 vocal schwas together, but you know what to do. You invoke rule of schwa. And the first one goes to Hirik, or erase a dot. All right? So this form becomes kit-li. 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 Okay, what about the second plural? Again, we'd have a tau prefix in the imperfect. What's this form? Tick. What's the ending here in the plural masculine? Oo. Tick, talu. If we erase or eliminate the prefix, again we have the same problem we just saw in the previous form. We got 2, so we got to get rid of one of the dots there, or change the schwa to a Hirik. And we have kitlu. Kitlu. And what's our fourth form? Tick, what would it be? Tick, toll, na, with the accent there. Tick, toll, na. And now make this imperative. Take off the prefix. All right. Do we have any adjustments to make? Do we have to worry about rule of schwa here? This one works just the way it is, because this vocal schwa, or was silent, now vocal, but that's okay. You can start a word with a single vocal schwa, and like this was katol, this is katol na. Katol na. There you have it. Huh? These are your 4 forms of the imperative, second person. All of these are second person, masculine, feminine, singular, plural. That's it. Okay?
You kill.
Yeah, translate. See? Katol means to kill, so katol means kill. As the and when you're translating these, to show that it's an imperative, I tend to use the exclamation point, which is sort of the English convention, right? That's helpful to show. Now, to whom are you speaking when you say katol? One male, right? If I'm looking at the whole army, assuming that they're all male, and I say kitlu, I'm addressing all of them, plural masculine. Kitli would be addressed to a single feminine. That's why we have the gender number issue. And katolna would be an imperative addressed to more than one female. Got it? Okay, that's it. All right. What we want to look at today are what I just teased you with at the end of the day yesterday, and that is that there are some not minor irregularities, but bad ones. Okay? And you can almost guess where we're going. We're going to take a look at specifically the first nun, the first yod, and the third hay. As you can guess, these are the worst. Why? What's the problem with all of these irregular verbs? They have the problem of a disappearing root letter. Okay? By the way, you might notice that almost conspicuous by its absence in this list are hollows, right? Because frankly, the hollows aren't a problem. So let's do them first, okay? Let's do them first. Working on the principle that we're going to build the imperatives off the imperfects, let's think about the imperfects of hollows. Okay? How do we make the imperfect of a hollow? Well, the example of a hollow is kum. Remember that in the perfect, true or false? In the perfect, hollows are hollow. True, that's where they're hollow. But in the imperfect, hollows retain the root, correct? So the imperfect of kum is yakum, right? Let's go straight to the second singular masculine form. The imperfect of kum in the second person will be takum, right? The second singular feminine of kum will be, can you make it? Ta, kum, mi, right? The plural of takum will be ta, ku, mu, or takumu. And this one is a little odd because you lose the mater letter, but you still get the O vowel. Ta-komna. Ta-komna. There are the imperfects of the hollows, all right?